I'm quite conscious that what we've just been witnessing and listening to and experiencing for the last, few hours has been amazing and quite serious and quite in-depth, and, sort of revolutions in technology and how we listen to music and how we experience it and how we interact with it. And what I'm going to offer is just basically just a bit of fun and not really anything quite as deep as what we've just been going into at all. So maybe I'm the kind of light relief for this part of the evening. So totally untested, I'm going to try and show you something that I've been building and working on for a bit. My name's Hugh Jones, aka Crewdson, which is the name that I put music out under and produce. I'm a musician, producer, composer, remixer, pretty much your kind of average bedroom producer, just kind of sampling and making beats and stuff in my house, and getting most enjoyment out of that more than people actually ever getting to hear my music, which is absolutely fine. I'm cool with that. A few years ago, I decided that I wanted to start trying to tinker around with electronics, like physical electronics. Everything that I've been doing had all been software. I started off using Reason and Cubase, and then moved on to Ableton Live, and everything was just software based. I'd never done any electronics. I'd certainly never had any electronics education at all. It was, it's pure hacking, pure taking things apart, trying them out, trying not to get electrocuted. Did learn that the hard way. Always stick with batteries, don't plug anything into the wall for a good while until you know what the hell you're doing, is the soundest advice I could give anybody. But so I started off by building little kind of synthesizers with chips. There's an amazing book, I'm sure lots of you know, by Nicholas Collins, Making Electronic Music, which is a great way to kind of get into that. So I was doing that, and I got to a point where I wanted to start, instead of just building standalone little synthesizers and things that bleeped and made weird noises, to making something that could start to interact with the music that I was already making through the computer, so making some kind of interface and controller. So I started off making very basic little MIDI controllers, just with a few sliders or buttons or anything like that. And then I built this instrument, which I'm going to show to you today. I built it about a year ago. It's called the Concertronica, and it's modeled on a traditional concertina, which, for those of you who don't know, is just like the little squeeze box that's most commonly associated with like pirates and drinking lots of rum and all that kind of thing. So I started actually playing the concertina a few years ago, which for me was like a bit of a like relief from all the electronic music that I've been doing, because I'd just been sort of deep in the kind of production electronic remixing world. I thought, right, I'm going to play something acoustic for a bit. But it didn't take me very long before I was like, I wonder if I could build a kind of electronic version of one of these. So that's what I set out to do. So without further ado, I'm going to see if it's actually working and try and do a bit of a demo and show you how it works. Cables. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 1. Okay, might need to turn this level down slightly. Okay, right. So this is the Concertronica, and within my own composition and music, I'm mostly interested in real-world samples. I'm not that into kind of synthesis and drum machines and all the rest of it. I like kind of taking my own samples, making music out of the sounds that surround us. So most of my MIDI controllers and interfaces and these kind of instruments that I build as well, and the software that I write to go with it, is all about kind of sampling real-time sound. So the idea is that I can pick up any little bits of any type of input at all. I can talk, like so. So these buttons, I'll tell you in a minute sort of what they're doing on each. Well, I'll tell you now, in fact. So down this side, we've got a nice set of wooden buttons where this is my kind of sound grabbers. So each one of these will sample or loop or just take a bit of sound from the input that's going in. So, you know, at the moment it's this microphone here, but you know, it could be pointed on anything. My main project for this at the moment is a collaboration with a harp player called Sivan. It's kind of a folk project where we both sing and she plays harp and I play the Concertronica, but then I use this to sample both of our voices and her harp. I think it sounds really nice. So yeah, if you want to kind of hear this in more of a musical context, then Crewdson and Sivan is the thing to check out. But anyway, so these buttons on this side are sampling, picking up bits of noises, whereas the buttons on this side are literally just turning effects on and off. So as I hold one of these buttons down, it'll turn an effect on and off. Then the control that I've got in the middle, which is the fun bit, is a bunch of strings that are on a pulley system. And the pulley system is turning a potentiometer inside, which is also on an XY kind of joystick axis. So I've got 4 of those, giving me 12 inputs for each of the strings. Let me show you. Okay. So I've got kind of minimum going to maximum on the pull, but then as well as that, I've also got XY axis that can twist like that. Sorry, forget you can't hear me until I'm by the mic. As well as that, I've got some nice fancy LEDs because that's the most important thing, that it looks flashy and has some lights on it. So let's try and make some sound. Thank you. So really all it is just a really interesting, different MIDI controller that I'm just using to map stuff to Ableton Live. So I've had to write a Max MSP patch because there's an Arduino inside one side of this. I've written a Max MSP patch that just takes the data from these strings and from these buttons and just converts it to MIDI, and then I can just map it to anything. All of the effects, all of the looping, all of the sampling, everything like that is just stuff that's in Ableton anyway. I haven't kind of written any fancy sound processing stuff. It's all just stuff that's in there. So I'm just quickly going to take you through some of the effects on here, because what's really great about this, and something that I didn't know or couldn't really work out or try until it was built, was quite how it was going to feel. You know, I had an idea about how it was going to look, but until I'd really assembled all the parts, I didn't know how strong the kind of the pull was going to be on it. I didn't know how heavy they were going to be. I didn't know the kind of response I was going to get from the information that's coming back into the computer. And what's really nice is that certain effects just lend itself really well. So, you know, effects that already existed have actually, you know, it feels like this was the right controller that was kind of made for it. For example, there's like a granular looper thing, which if I go, hello, my name is Hugh. Hello. I can kind of scroll through the sentence. I go, hello, my name is Hugh. I go, hello, my name is Hugh. You can imagine like the waveform just kind of like being between my hands, and I'm able to just kind of like move through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. Another thing is, well, this is one bit that I did write for it, was just something to be able to move up and down a scale. So I've set the scale, which is like some kind of Dorian. I think somebody more musically minded would probably be able to correct me. The one that I like most of all, which is just a stretcher. So, you know, just imagine that I've got the sound in my hand, and just being able to stretch that sound. It's like it is the effect which this thing was made for, definitely. So if we just build something up. That's definitely my favourite one. How much time have I got left? Running out. So before I built this, I'd never done anything with an Arduino before. I'd never done any type of woodwork before. It's a true hack. It took me quite a long time. I really fucked a lot of things up and had to go and redo them over again and again, and it was a massive learning curve. But I'm really pleased to say that it's something that feels now like quite a stable instrument. I've started using this for various different projects. I've taken it around, I've been doing lots of different gigs with it, and I've got it to the point where, you know, I've even been able to put it in a flight case and take it on aeroplanes, and it's been bumped around by EasyJet and all sorts of people, and it's still actually working. So I'm very, very pleased about that. Yeah, just you know, if just any type of ideas that you might have about turning something into a musical instrument, or creating a new kind of design or a new kind of idea of something that could be used as a musical instrument is entirely obtainable, you know, just through kind of having a go. And I think the great thing about platforms like Arduino and Teensy and Max MSP and even Ableton to a certain degree, all these kind of things, is the community that's built around them. You know, it's like, it's really great if you find yourself working with a load of numbers or working with something that is entirely alien to you, and you think, you know, I'm never going to get the hang of this. You know, I should have gone and done this at university. I needed to have studied this for 3 years. But actually, after just like 2 or 3 days on the forums, just asking questions and the responses you get from people, suddenly you learn a hell of a lot. And this kind of peer-to-peer sharing is something that I find is within this kind of world, and within this kind of world that we're here, that you don't get in a lot of areas. So, you know, that's something that's really positive and really exciting to be a part of. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much. Cheers.
That's amazing.
I'll say,
Hugh.
I might just bring this down to one of the tables down here and go and grab a beer. So if anybody wants to come and have a look at it or ask me any questions, I'll be down here. So cheers, thank you.
I have a question. Will you make me one?
That is actually a question that quite a few people have asked me. Not exactly that, but you know, are you going to go and kind of take it to a company? Are you going to go and try and kind of market this or mass produce this or sell them to other people? I mean, I don't think I'd be able to make you want to sell them to other people, because at the moment, you know, even though I say it hasn't broken, if it did break, I would be able to fix it. If I sold one to you, I could guarantee you it would break at some point, and then you'd be calling me up really mad at me. But that's not the point. You know, I'm not trying to make.
I should learn how to make it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, like, you could probably do it much better yourself anyway. So, yeah.
That's great. Hugh Jones is Crewdson. Thank you very much.